Thank you very much, Dr. Sharif, and welcome to everyone who's joining us virtually. Of course, AmCham events are one of the most exciting ones, and I love to participate in them. I wish we could all sit together over lunch, which is our typical AmCham setting, but I'm very happy that at least we have colleagues who are joining us from the US, and this is one of the merits of being able to do virtual meetings, which we are all getting more and more used to these days. A few opening remarks, and it goes back to the title that AmCham has put for the talk today. COVID-19 is a pandemic that has actually pushed us all in different ways. And I think the overarching theme of this pandemic is really humility. All of us are being challenged in different ways, and all of us are very humble in the way we need to think about this. And through this humility, we are becoming more innovative. We are pushing more the frontiers of collaboration, coordination. When you say there's the opportunity of multilateralism, I think no country in the globe today is by itself. All of us, whether we're policymakers, we're citizens, we're in the private sector, we're in the government, everybody is being affected by this in a very similar way. So nobody is excluded. And that sense actually pushes forward the agenda of multilateralism, where common problems need global solutions. So everyone, while they are taking their actions locally, it adds up to improving the global picture. I took over this ministry in December, and the vision of this ministry, or what it needs to do, or what it has been doing, is actually strengthening Egypt's relationships, both on the bilateral side and the multilateral side, particularly with development partners. And this involves not just the international institutions, it involves the private sector, it involves civil society, and also global thought leaders. The crisis today has put more urgency when it comes to the enhancement of dialogue between us, other countries in the world, and other institutions. Everybody is trying to put together coordinated plans, whether on the health side or the economic side. And a few years ago, when there was that debate whether or not markets were becoming more decoupled, I think what we are learning today is that markets are very coupled. There is a huge element of complementarity, which helps at some times, but also has increased the challenges as well. The way I want to do my talk today, and there's a presentation that will be sent to all of the participants after the conclusion of our meeting. And in that presentation, as Dr. Sharif had mentioned, I'm going to tackle two issues. First, it's Egypt's response and rebuild strategy for COVID. And the second one is the partnerships narrative that we launched, and I want to speak to all of you about, because it also involves not just a narrative from the government side and our development partners, but it also is a narrative that we will develop with our private sector colleagues, whether they are in the US, whether they're Egyptian private sector, etc. So if we can start the presentation, and I hope it shows up on the screen so all of us can take a look at it. I hope I don't take more than 15 minutes, and then we can open it up for questions, because I think many of you have questions as well. So as I mentioned, we'll be splitting it up into the response and rebuild, and then the new global partnership narrative that we have put together. So as a government of Egypt, we came out and the policies were really based on protecting the population from the spread of the virus through different measures that I will go over. Provide easier access to credit to both the households to smooth consumption, but also liquidity for firms to survive the disruption that is happening, not just locally, but also globally. And then always thinking about the future, progressing by expediting structural reforms through and beyond COVID-19.